Hey, today we're going to be dividing decimals. I'm going to show you a couple of different examples. The first one, we have a decimal in our dividend. We don't have one in our divisor on this problem. We will on the next one. But when it's just in the dividend, which means it's only inside the box, we have 23.75. What you're going to do is you're going to bring the decimal straight up and put it in there. So there's where my decimal is, and now I'm just going to divide as normal. Does 25 go into 2? The answer is no. Does the 25 go into 23? The answer is still no. Now, if you want to put your 0 up top, you can. I'm still playing with this stylus a little bit, so let me make my 0 a little bit neater. And so now my question is, will it go into 237? The answer is yes. Now, how many times? Well, some of you all can't count by 25s, but you can count by quarters. So if you count by quarters, we have 25, 50, 75, $1, $1, $25, $50, $75, 200, 225. That would be 9 quarters. So I'm going to put my 9 above the 7, and then I'm going to do 25 times 9, which is 225. If you don't believe me, you can check it over here. 25 times 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 4 is still 225. So then we subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. And then 2 minus 2 is 0. You can either write your 0 in or leave it alone. Then we're going to bring down our 5. How many 25s is in 125? Again, if you count by quarters, the answer is 5. So we're left with 0 as our remainder. So our answer on here is 0.95 or 0.95, and that's what it is. So the second problem that I'm going to show you today is when we have a decimal in the dividend and the divisor, when it's inside the box and outside the box. The first thing that we have to do is we have to look at the number outside of the box. If there is a decimal, what we have to do is we actually have to move it to the right to make it a whole number. In this particular case, we're only moving it one spot. So we move the decimal to the right one time. If we do it outside of the box, we also have to do it inside the box. So I'm going to move this decimal over here one spot, and that's where it's going to be. Now, once you move it, you're just going to bring it straight up. And so that is where my decimal is going to be, and now we're going to divide as normal. So my number this time is 29. Will 29 fit into 1? No. Will 29 fit into 10? No. Will 29 fit into 100? Yes. Just to estimate this, 29 is about 30, so we can count by 30s. 30, 60, 90, which would be 3 times. So we need to take 29 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. So it's going to be 87. So I'm going to put my 3 above my second 0. 3 times 29 is 87. And then I'm going to subtract it. Some of you all already know the answer. The rest of us will regroup it. We're going to change our 1 to a 0 and to our 0 to a 10. And then our 10 is going to become a 9, which makes this a 10. So we have 10 minus 7 is 3. And then 9 minus 8 is 1, which is 13. And now I'm going to bring down my 3. This time, how many times will 29 go into 133? Again, if I estimate 29 being 30s, I can count by 30s. 30, 60, 90, 120, that's 4 times. So over here, I'm going to do 29 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11, so it's going to be 116. So I'm going to put my 4 for 4 times above the 3, and then it's going to be 116. I'm going to subtract. I'm going to regroup. 13 minus 6 is 7. 2 minus 1 is 1. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. And then I'm going to bring down this 4 all the way. So again, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180 is 6 times. 180 is a little bit much, but we're going to be losing 6 of them. So 29 is going to be 6 times. So we're going to take 29 times 6. 9 times 6 is 54. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. So we're at 174, which is our 6 times. Now that 6 is going to go right above the 4. Do you see how it's at the 6 is after the decimal after we moved it up? Because the 4 is after that decimal. So the 6 has to be after the decimal. It is going to be 174, and we subtract this, and we are left with 0. So on your homework today, you're going to have a couple of problems, a few problems to do. Try them, do your best. Then we're going to have a second video where we actually answer your problems that you're working on, and you can see if you missed anything, you can learn from your mistakes. All right, thanks, guys.